going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Dog Training 101. Today I'll be showing you how to teach your dog the basic fundamentals of housebreaking, also known as house training or potty training, whichever way you want to refer to it, it's all the same. We never want our animals to go to the bathroom inside of our house. We have to teach them right away. They have to go outside. Now, there's a lot of ways to house train a dog, but one of the quickest and most efficient ways to do it is through crate training. A lot of people are afraid of the crate because they think it's mean or the dog's not gonna like them after. I can tell you by doing this with several hundred dogs, I've never had a dog hate me after. Now, if you follow the steps that I'm gonna show you today, it should only take you about a week or two to effectively house train your dog. It's very rare where I've seen it take longer than that. And if it does take longer, it might only take 3 weeks. So the first step in the process is the setup. Let's get started. Okay, first things first. Crate size. Crate size has to be adequate. It's very important in the process. Now, if you look here, we have a larger crate because I'm house training a larger dog today. I'm house training a golden retriever. It's really important to understand the size ratio between your dog and the crate. You don't want the crate to be too big. If that was the case, your dog could actually sleep on one side, walk to the other side, go to the bathroom, and then go back to sleeping on the other side. It defeats the entire purpose of the crate. Your ideal size is the dog being able to comfortably stand up, do a circle, and lie back down with a little bit of room on each side of them. At first glance, it might seem a little cramped. It's not, as long as they have enough room to do a full circle, stand up, and they actually have room above their back and head. Again, I want to stress, if the crate is too big, they're going to go to one side, use the bathroom, and it defeats the entire purpose of the crate. Second thing, toys. Make sure lots of toys go inside the crate. This is not a punishment. This is not an area that they've done something wrong and you're putting them inside. This is supposed to be a comfortable little area that they can spend long periods of time as they're getting house trained. So I want to make sure I put all kinds of fun things inside the crate so the dog doesn't get too bored. So boom. Third thing to point out, placement of the crate. People always ask, where do I place the crate? I always like to place the crate in an area that's not far from the door that I'm taking them out, teaching them how to house train them. If you place the crate in an area of the house that's too far away from the door you're going to take them out, there's a good chance between where the crate is and that door, they're going to stop and use the bathroom. The closer you can have the crate to the door you'll be going out of, the better. In my case, I had no room to put the crate right next to the door, so I'm only 10 feet away, and that's usually pretty good. All right, so now we're set up. Let's go get our subject. Okay, first things first. If your dog has never been inside of a crate before, the first thing you want to do is get a treat and just kind of guide him in there. The way I like to do it, just a little bit at a time, and then from here, a little further. Let her get confidence to walk in there herself, just like that. And then another treat, a little further in, and even further. And then what I do is I kind of just sit here for a second, pet him, let him know it's okay. There you go. And as you can see, like I said before, the crate size is very adequate for her. She has plenty of room on top of her back and head. She could do a full circle, and if she was gonna lie down, she'd have a little bit of room from her snout and a little bit of room on her back end. So from here, I'm just simply going to take the leash off, and now she will get about 90 minutes of crate time. This way, come on, this way. All right, so I'm just gonna go out here. Now it's a waiting game. I'm gonna have my treats in hand because when she pees, I'm gonna have to reward her right after she's done. So this part can go very quickly, or it could be a waiting game. Sometimes they wanna pee right away, or sometimes they wanna wait a few minutes. She's sniffing right now, so there's a good chance she's gonna pee. I got my hand on my treats ready to go. And right as she squats, I'm gonna wait for her to finish and reward her right after. She's sniffing again, which is always a good sign. And let him sniff around. And sometimes this process takes a few minutes. Sometimes they have to pick the perfect spot to go. Such is the case with this little one. Some dogs really don't care. All right, there she goes. And I'm just gonna wait her out, treat in hand. I'm gonna wait for her to done with her little squat there, and timing is everything. And go! There you go, get busy. Okay, now from there, we're going right back inside. Okay, come on. So now she's done her business outside. She gets 1 hour of observed free time in the house. And when I say observed, I mean I want you to observe them in one room only. Don't let them run all over the house because there's a good chance they can get in trouble if you let them out of your sight. My particular house has a long hallway with a lot of doors that open up to different rooms. If I left all those doors open, there's a good chance that she would go explore those rooms and she could do her business in there without me seeing. And if that happens, I might not see it for days. If I section off one room where I shut the door and I actually have gates blocking other hallways and other areas that she can't get to, what I've done now is I've limited her options. Now I can keep an eye on her and make sure that if she does use the bathroom right in front of me, I can correct as needed instead of seeing it later, and at that point, the correction is irrelevant. So again, she gets 1 hour of observed free time in the house here, and just like in the crate, I'm gonna give her a lot of things to do. Toys, chews, whatever the case may be. This is her free time. Okay, so now we've completed our 1 hour free time in the house. I'm going to complete the triangle by putting her back inside the crate. Bailey, come on. And from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the toy in there. And that completes the house training triangle. She went from the crate to outside to do her business, to free time in the house, back inside the crate. So all we're gonna do is simply repeat this process throughout the day and the coming days. Okay, so here we are, day 2. So just like yesterday, we're gonna repeat the exact same process. However, today, we're just gonna make a slight adjustment. Today, instead of giving her 90 minutes to 2 hours of crate time, I'm gonna slightly pull that back just a hair. So let's say yesterday you gave your dog 2 hours of crate time. We're gonna take away 20 minutes of that crate time and we're gonna add that to the free time in the house until eventually the crate time is down to almost nothing and the free time is now up to hours. Hold on. And we're simply gonna wait her out. All right, so just like yesterday, she gets free time in the house, but as I said before, because we decreased the crate time, we're gonna go ahead and increase the house time, the free time in the house. So we took away 20 minutes in the crate and we added that 20 minutes to her free time in the house. Once again, make sure the free time in the house is observed. You don't wanna let her just roam the whole house. There's a good chance she might go exploring and she might do something you don't want her to do. So observed free time in the area that you're most commonly in. In my case, I have the living room, the kitchen, and the dining room area all together. Thankfully, it's one big room. I can easily keep an eye on her the entire time. Back inside, there you go. She had her free time in the house, and once again, she's back in the crate. And again, since it's day 2, we went ahead and took away a little bit of crate time and we added it to the free time in the house. All right, here we are, day 3. Same thing as before, but we're gonna decrease crate time and add it to the free time in the house. All right, so once again, she's back inside the crate, completing the house training triangle. And again, we're gonna continue this process day after day. From the crate to outside, free time in the house, back inside the crate. This process is gonna continue for about a week or 2, give or take. Every dog is different. Most golden retrievers and bigger dogs that I train, it only takes about a week. Smaller dogs, it could take a little longer. Okay, come on. Okay, so it's been a week for her and I'm liking everything I see. So at this point, I can assume that she's fully house trained. Now, there's a few key things here I want to point out because not all dogs are alike. Number 1, every dog has a different timeline of how quickly they're going to learn this technique. Bailey here is like most golden retrievers. Most goldens or most big dogs, they learn this typically in about a week. Smaller dogs, I find it might take a little bit longer, maybe 10 days to possibly 2 weeks. And young puppies, you're probably going to spend at least 2 to 3 weeks doing this. And trust me when I say you're gonna have a lot of sleepless nights. And people always ask, well, what if my dog can't hold it for that long? Typically a dog this age, they can definitely hold it for 6 to 8 hours in the crate at night. Now, if your dog is a very young puppy, most likely they're only gonna be able to hold it from anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. So once again, you're gonna get a lot of sleepless nights if you have a very young puppy. This is expected and very common. Third thing to point out, highly recommend that when you're doing this process, you always feed your dog inside the crate. The reason why is because typically, especially with young dogs, usually 5 minutes after you feed a very young puppy, their systems get going very quickly and they have to go outside to go to the bathroom. If you feed them outside the crate and don't take them outside right after, promise you, you're gonna have a problem inside the house. You wanna feed them inside that crate, and then right after they eat, take them right outside to do their business. Most likely they'll have to go. And last but not least, very important, everybody always asks the same question: what do I do if my dog goes in the house during this house training process? The answer is very simple. I like to do the reverse psychology method. This is where I put a cinder block next to the area where they went to the bathroom. I wrap their leash around the cinder block with just enough slack so they can stand up and lie down only, and I leave them right next to where they went to the bathroom for about 15-20 minutes. This method works like a charm because you're making them stand next to the area they did something bad in. Make sure when you do this, you don't put them right on top of their business, you put them right next to it, so just in the area is fine. But it's very important that you leave them there for a good 15-20 minutes. And if they start barking and protesting, basically telling you to get them off the leash, don't fall for it. If they start doing that and you let them off the leash, they'll do that every time. And at that point, you created a barker. There's a whole new video for that. So that's the basic fundamentals of my favorite way to house train a dog. Some people call it housebreaking, house training, some people call it potty training. Whatever you call it, I call my method the house training triangle. This goes from the crate to outside to free time in the house, back to the crate, completing the triangle. If you like everything you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'm Brandon McMillan. Thanks for watching.